Bonsoir, bonsoir, bienvenue. Petite séance disco. Le troisième épisode. Alors, on était retourné à l'hôtel. On avait interrogé le barman. Attends, alors j'avais à faire. Ça, j'ai déjà fait, mais apparemment, il faudra le refaire. Ça, j'ai pas assez d'argent. Pardon, je suis l'insigne et l'arme. Alors, qui c'est qui a jeté l'affaire de la victime dans la poubelle? Ça, j'ai demandé, mais pour l'instant, il ne va pas répondre.
A thin man is smoking below an exhaust hood, occasionally sipping from his mug. This must be the Whirling's cook. As you step in, he nods toward the table and says something in a completely foreign language. The only words you can make out are Garanci and Kubek. It must be his name, Garanci. Garanci Quebec. Sounds representative. The man puts his cup down and replies something, his left hand drawing arcs in the air. He smiles and bangs his ladle against each of his pots in turn. It's almost like music, especially with the sounds of assorted dishes boiling and simmering on the stove.
Yes?
T'as rien à me dire?
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue. You immediately feel drawn to the color. Blue is for mystery.
You do? It's a door in the back of the kitchen. Why do you care where it leads? Yes. I suppose it's worth seeing if we can get in. Just to be thorough. As a side investigation. Gart is the person to ask about this. The cafeteria manager.
Can I help you?
Je peux rien lui dire. Ok. Donc faut que je augmente le moral quand même.
You see a heavy steel door with the cobalt blue surface feels rough to touch. The stainless steel door is flush with its frame on every... The door does not budge.
D'accord. Trouver un moyen. Ok. Oh. Fait que l'autre temps que je... Attends.
That sugary black rum stain on the counter makes you teary-eyed with joy. It's almost touching how syrupy and sticky it is. How long have you been up already? An hour would have been bad. 2 hours is mystical. You have truly wiped out all trace of yourself if you haven't thought about rum and lemonade yet. Maybe you haven't turned out well for your drinking. Have you thought about that? Get a goddamn rum and lemonade to yourself, boy. Or better yet, what happened, man? You used to be cool. Go get your boring normal person drink then. It would go well with those cigarettes. That's a great combination. On the counter, rolled out of his open hand, you see a blister pack of headache medicine.
Instrument physique difficile 12.
You gently shake his shoulder, but nothing happens. This man could probably sleep soundly in a The man does not mind. You probably need them more than he does.
You've just picked up some magnesium. This item is stored in the bottom left corner of the screen above your character portrait. Use magnesium to heal your morale if you have morale damage.
Ouais, ben voilà, soigner. Alors, ça en fait des quêtes secondaires.
Hello again, sweetie. Whatever do you mean?
Petit rôle en combattant Clémence.
Sequence killers? Oh my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree. I can assure you with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie. Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time.
Ok, donc ça c'est bon. Cuisine d'aller. L'heure il est 18h. Ah non, c'est vrai que c'est fermé là.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all. Of course. What can I help you with? Excuse me?
She's uncomfortable. Maybe you should drop this line of questioning. She shifts in her seat awkwardly.
Me? I am just a gardener. I am pleased to meet you too, officer. Of course. Where to? There's the pier, the Cape Side apartment buildings, some more tenements. Not a lot, really. The harbor gates, some kind of commotion, I think. I don't follow the local politics. A fleet, some shops and a bridge. The canal bridge leads to the coast, but it's broken, I think. Some kind of accident, probably. Just coast. There's a little fishing village there, and a fish market. But that got closed down ages ago. It's just water. No, actually, I think they call it the Martinez Inlet. There are some islands in the bay, but they're hard to reach. No problem. Of course. I won't hold you back.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
Ok, on va peut-être aller... Attends, fais voir par là. Aller voir le cadavre.
Welcome to Règles.
Oh, l'accent.
Don't you welcome to Revachol me. My grandfather came here from a 3,000-year-old racist isolationist culture, while your ancestors came to this island a mere 300 years ago. Every school of thought and government has failed in the city, but I love it nonetheless. It belongs to me as much as it belongs to you. It's men like you who keep Revachol divided, making it that much harder for everyone to climb out of this post-war limbo.
Limbo.
What he means is, fixation on the Revacholian nation makes it harder for Revachol to actually attain self-determination.
Oh, come on, man. I just said welcome to Règles. It's a lorry driver thing.
Oh la franche. Moi je trouve ça dessert le jeu, cet accent français là.
I know exactly what you meant. You think my kind doesn't belong here, that I should watch myself and behave. But you see, I'm an officer of the RCM. It's actually my job to make sure you behave. I would...
Silence. The air between them becomes tense.
Voilà, lui à sa voix, ça va. Alors les autres...
Your partner needs backup. Now's your moment to shine.
You two make a cute couple. You know that?
The lieutenant exhales and resumes his regular calmness.
Whatever you say, officers.
He smells of heavy motor oils, and his breath of high tar content cigarettes, probably Astra Whites.
Oh man, that's great. Look at that guy go. I haven't seen anything that funny in... God damn. Thanks for that, but no, it's not mine.
Oh, vous êtes pris la gueule.
Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up some cargo, but the dock workers are on strike, so it's a sit and wait on your ass situation. Apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had something to hide.
Yeah, apples? I take it you had other questions? Oh, not much anymore. I'm here to pick up apples.
Apples is exactly the kind of thing you'd say if you had...
Look, as detective. I come from a long line of lorrymen. Oh, I'm here to pick up a load of fucking apples, man. Just regular, picked apples.
Damn, you're not gonna get more out of him on this. He's put up the wall of racism.
Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather was a carter. Had a royal license and everything. Someone with a cart. What did you think it was? That's how deep into history our thing reaches. Before machines. Sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Hell no. It's a guild. Invitation only. Unions work for the rich fucks. They're basically the same. Been trying to fuck us out of our... Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. Generations of practice and... it's about biological determinism, natural law, the sorting of the races. Not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. That is, bury your head under the sand like common sheep. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, naturally, we Occidentals should be in charge. Obviously, you can see the merits in that. So, lately we Occidentals have experienced an unfortunate downturn when members of the superior race cease to believe in their innate superiority. They stop competing for resources. This concerns you, policemen, so you better be vigilant. The damn kips are showing up good lately. Same with the mosquitoes. And the other intruder species too. They're on the precipice of cultural victory. It's what the kips of Boogie Street are going for, right under our noses. And the others too, on the radio. Heard any chansons lately? Heard any motetos or leader? It's true. Also, you need to realize the dangers of mixing races. Who knows what might happen if people don't stay in their birthplace? You might end up with a new sub-race, with unknown characteristics, leading to extra competition. That's why you've got to control the offspring. Don't push your luck, runt. Looking for something, Runt? Come to tell me to fuck off again? Oh yeah, they're a big deal. My great-grandfather sure fucking is. We have a guild and everything, huh? Very ancient. Goddamn right. They've been trying to fuck... Trusting street thugs with their goods is going to fuck them right up the ass. Mark my words. It's about not the most popular topic nowadays, with a coalition in charge and all. You might want to change the topic. Suit yourself, officer. Hi. It's about not the most popular topic nowadays, with a... I'm not just racist. Look, I've read books, huh? The science of racial theory. People who've studied these things say that you and me are superior by design. So, open your eyes. Haven't you noticed something different lately? And then the problem? The damn kips are showing a real good game lately. Same with the mosquitoes. and the other introduce.
Oh?
Good. If we, the evening people...
Lieutenant Kitsuragi's stern expression remains unchanged, but you sense he can't be happy about this turn of events. Oh no, not too happy.
Ah mince, il y avait un machin bleu.
A small cabinet on the wall is filled with various medicine bottles, nasal sprays, and blister packs. They all bear the Saint Baptiste Pharmaceutics logo.
Just ask me if you need anything from Saint Baptiste. We don't stock prescription meds, but we do have Nosafed, Duramine, magnesium, and Hypnogamma. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Okay, here. I hope Saint Baptiste makes you feel better or something. Saint Baptiste, you know, the pharmaceuticals company. Saint Baptiste Pharmaceuticals, the one that sells meds out of Saint Baptiste. That one. There.
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, 1 bottle equals 10 cents.
Oh, that's the tear machine. It's a machine for tear. You know, you find tear outside, like bottles or whatever, and put it in the machine, then it gives you money. You need a bag, I guess. We used to have some, but we gave them all out, so... Feel free to use it if you find a bag, though. I'm sure there are some out there, somewhere.
A colourful display of cigarettes and alcohol bottles line the shop wall, inviting you closer. The bottles wink at you in the light. The smokes too glitter in their wrapping. It's like looking into a kind of heaven. You're there, in that dark green glass, all in vain. The great flowing river of warmth, wine, alcohol, beer,
Guess not, no.
Good thing you're an unrecovering alcoholic then.
I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health, but I guess...
Know this, you will never finish your alcohol quest if you don't buy beautiful alcohol.
The pale-aged vodka is special, I guess. It's stored in pale for a couple of years, which makes it super expensive and super strong. Sure. So, are you gonna buy anything, or...?
When you said before that you were down with racism, was it meant in earnest, or were you just trying to win his confidence?
J'essaie juste d'exprimer ce que...
I suppose that's a relief. Just be careful how often you avail yourself of this technique. A lie may be useful in the short term, but I have a way of catching up with you later. And one more thing. As you've seen, these sorts of attitudes are quite common in Martinez, so I expect this to happen again and again. I've had this conversation enough times in my life. From now on, I'm going to stay out of it. How you choose to respond is your business, but be careful. Now let's move on.
Scab?
You're hazy on the notion of a scab. Smells like politics, though. Maybe it's got something to do with the flask he reaches for from time to time.
I was just messing with you. No one's ever seen a cop scab. Imagine, you cops going on a strike, but then another cop comes in and says, "Let us cop for less money." Speaking of, what brings the RCM here, to the wild north? Come to see the strife? You know, serious business. I'm sure the big boss will be glad to tell you. You'll have to ask him first.
He's a chatty guy. Wants to talk about the strike. Return once you've met the union boss and are on a better footing with the organization.
Nobody betrays your degeneracy.
Yeah, Measurehead. His body totally betrays his degeneracy.
Are you admiring my morphophysiology? It must be frightening to stand in the shadow of this racial pinnacle. Be calm, Sandwich. You are not in danger, because you are not a threat to me. What is this androgynous display of sexual maturity?
Merely standing up makes you sweat profusely. Your breathing is erratic. Your own heartbeat in your ears grows frantic, and you feel your blood pressure rise.
Stop it! You are embarrassing yourself in front of this woman and your pedomorphic friend. This display of weakness may appeal to older women with a stronger maternal instinct, but it is a liability here on Battlefield Martinez.
Jean-Luc, his body is betraying his degeneracy pretty hard. Maybe you can ask him to leave.
You have succumbed to Al-Ghul. You reek of it. An invisible sword of Al-Ghul emerges from your throat. You cannot see. Yes, Al-Ghul. Al-Ghul is an ancient Ilmaran poison, a parasitic fungus that has colonized your race. It is a trick the desert pygmies played on you, for humiliating them and stripping them. Correct, my small skull servant.
It's not good.
It's like a rat crawled into your stomach, got drunk and drowned.
No, you don't.
You need to get another drink. Occidental Haplogroup B4 is done giving orders around here. Does this remind you of someone? The guy down there? Begging for help. Attempting to pass fear for cooperation. How far the Occidental Haplogroup has fallen. You gave the world eugenics, electricité, and powerful weapons. You dominated lesser cultures, like the deformed Hemians and the inexplicably. You will be superseded. Isn't that right?
It is, baby, yeah.
There is a button right behind him, just out of reach. It must be the one that opens the door to the harbor. Enough with this begging. You should leave the stage of history. Bring your troops to the Seminine Islands and to Boogie Street, and we will pulverize you. The walls will be lined with bottles of Al Ghul, your beloved. There may be a peaceful solution to this. You could internalize Meshahed's race theory. He would take you as one of his own.
Il y a peut-être une solution pacifique. Il faudrait interne la théorie des races du embauche du rabat ouvert.
The down with racism thing. That's basic race theory. This is way above that. Way. Ask what kind of races there are first. Classification is core to this stuff.
Do you?
The lieutenant looks toward the harbor's electronic door, and then... You are obviously a liberal, Sayerlight. A polyculturalist. I can see it from your love of microtechnology and your sartorial choices. Do not deny your friend the truth. There are 3 categories of race. Type A, the heroic races. Type B, the servile races. And the vile CF race cauldron of pederasty. Which one do you need education on? Those are the Simonese, the Areopagite, and the Occidentals, excluding the Maun, of course. The Maun are riddled with eczema. A receding genetic pool has led the Maun on reprehensible street parades. In Maun cities like Stadskanal and Vredefort, wearing wooden clogs on their feet and little green tassels on their hats. You know them by the names of their nation-states. The Oranese, the Gotwaldians. The Maun are proof that you can have too much Occidental racial purity and tassel-centric culture. Inbreeding has led to a lactose-intolerant subrace. Colorful tassels are, let's be honest, not a good sartorial choice for this century. You might want to avoid wooden clogs too. The Vespertines and Messenians of Vesper and Messina, the ancient Meteorans of Meteo by the golden Pisantic Sea, the other large Mondial civilization, the Mesk, are too yellow and oleaginous to count as a heroic race. True, they are violent and expansionist,
overproduction of sebum. Sebum is leaking into their brains, making them listen to El Mariachi music and eat toxic minced meat-based food, which in turn only, as proven by the Moun and the Mask, Occidental type A is in retrograde. The Simonese and the Areopagites are on the ascent. The Areopagites are sleek, long-headed. The Simonese are powerful, mesomorphic. The former is an immutable progenitor, unchanged since the Super Isola of Pericarnassus. Ancient brains rest in their slender skulls.
Je veux savoir, c'est un studio français ou quoi? Ou alors je regarde dans les trucs, les trucs du jeu pour voir. Parce que là c'est bizarre les accents.
The latter is perfected and adapting. Together they form the Simeno-Areopagite.
Nature was not capable of more.
Type B are the unheroic races. Amorphous to an untrained eye, the Koiko appear. Pinkness is at the Koiko.
Wouldn't he be one for ethnostates?
Revacholians, halfway between.
Is it 82,000 years that we've been recording history? You have very little idea of what is happening, but that seems a little off.
The mysteries of the people of this planet are a tragedy that has played out countless times over, like a fever dream of skin, hair, and bone. Wake up, naive Chespias. The revolution came to ravage. The revolution is enough of Tibet. Tips, CF, are a museum of failed chimeric lesser races like the mosquito. The mosquito is born sterile, like a. Then there is the Simino Koiki Chimera. Are you sure you wish to know of the Simino Koiki? The Koiko, as you. This will never. But enough. It is cruel to entertain ourselves with the deformities of tips. You understand nothing. To solve the great race enigma, you have to first ask yourself, what is the race enigma? You have not even worded the mystery. You need to internalize what you have heard here today, then return to me. This clarity does not come instantly. I cannot possibly imagine what else we have to discuss, Tibere Vacholian. Your love for disco music and venereal disease?
He does not so much as glance at the object.
Stop showing me your pathetic cup. I have no interest in it. Racists are generally not very good examples of their race.
Welcome to Revachol. You hear him yell at a redhead woman visiting the fritter nearby.
I am not like them. I am craniometric perfection. I have taken the trouble to permanently draw a phrenologic grid on my skull and features. This should dispel any doubt. Correct. Don't be vulgar. White or not has got little to do with this. The race enigma runs much deeper than that. Mr. Clare is a man of vision and means. He has the will to confront polycultural capital. Also, To serve is noble. It takes discipline. Your petulant individualism has only contributed to your race failure. It is lax and moronic. Jam. Individualism. You have gotten these ideas from degenerate youth culture, have you not? You have picked them up from rock and roll songs? Offshoots of the Seminoles people invented disco while having sex under the influence of cocaine. I am not surprised you enjoy it so much. This has happened to many of the side products of the inevitable cultural victory of the Seminoles race. The South Island race. Haplogroup, we are the future. I am a descendant. The narrow streets of Ulumbuir are with me in my genetic dreams. I see young Seminoles women walk into the grey mass on Ile de Fantôme. No, I have heard about it on the radio. I'm from Couronne, and no, it is not just in Revachol. The city is central to the Seminoles strategy, spreading through its trade networks. You have heard enough about our phylogenetic secrets for today. You have extinction to come to terms with, and never get in it.
I think this racist is better than the last, but the next racist will be the really good one.
That will be the...
He will grant us 3 wishes.
Your pedomorphic friend has quick wits, a protruding occiput, and an indented zygomatic bone.
The lieutenant does not flinch.
You should keep him close. The congenital defect of farsightedness does not render him a complete invalid. He still has the use of his mind.
Moins 1, zin. Attends, bonus. Ouais, moins 40. Bizarre comme truc. Et l'autre de blanc, c'est moins 1 d'autorité. Alors, on va voir le corps.
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell.
Active decay.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
Non, j'ai toujours pas...
Look, see? It's the fucking war pig!
You belittled yourself before the Kuno. Now you must seek his forgiveness.
Fucking what pig? Cool what? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think you broke his brain when you fucked him up, Kuno.
You better come up with a way to make Kuno forget you tried to fucking hit him, piggo.
A material offering is implied. He wants stuff. Only stuff can make it okay again.
Please don't waste time on nonsense.
The lieutenant does not approve of this at all.
Don't listen to the blind fuck, piggo. You're doing the right thing here, trying to get Kuno to like you again. You can pay tribute to Kuno with drugs, or cigarettes, or some wheels. Kuno could use some wheels. Motorized carriage shit.
What are you doing? No, you really don't. That is a 12-year-old boy. His opinion of you.
You don't fucking matter, buckimp.
But why? You're turning this into a huge thing. You're totally unraveling, officer.
Pour l'instant, là-bas, je peux pas y aller. Un livre de l'homme de... Ah oui, d'accord.
You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. This Post Lavantorie mail collection box has been heavily vandalized with graffito. A closer inspection reveals 2 bullet holes. A faint sticker on the side reads, RCM Emergencies Desk number 8102, with a slogan, Mankind, be vigilant. The box seems happy. Eat shit, pig. Fucked by the coon, and St. G with a crown have been scribbled on it. Jenny is a whore, and best set mailbox also. The mail collection box seems cathartic, thankful even. So do you. You shudder, then you swallow.
Life doesn't need to be a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk to angry old René first.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just...
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions. No, you got this. There's the ball. You're the game. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight. No matter, you'll make it work. God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement and adrenaline that precedes every victory. The cold metal ball is surprisingly smooth against your neck. It has a pattern on it, probably a sponsored ball. Yours, already your muscles are adjusting to the weight, the nervous system calibrating, until you and the ball have merged into a single. A chilly breeze ruffles your hair as you stand there, feet firmly planted. All sounds, smells, even the wind, everything fades until the only thing left is the union of man and ball.
Merde! Bordel de merde!
A whorehouse of shit.
What the hell is your problem?
C'était pas ce jeu-là.
I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game. It's so goddamn disrespectful. You vandalized our game, son. We can't play pétanque with 5 boules.
À la pétanque.
No, no you don't. Our pétanque game is ruined. We want our bull back.
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull. Good. Mistakes are forgiven.
Yes. Why did you come here? It's unlikely they know anything about the murder.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. I do. Fire from heavy artillery. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we got licked. Should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough. This place is a damn beachhead, son. They didn't do it because they didn't like it. They had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back RÈGLES. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And the rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the...
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job.
You don't even begin to truly understand the players on the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
I'm sorry it had to be them. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, boiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned to Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisel.
This royal failure weighs heavily on him.
Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. This is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with. A true king in both blood and mind led Revachol before Frisel. He would have been better, but the damn commies drove him into exile. The suzerain is the king! Has everyone forgotten already? It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
8%, c'est même pas la peine.
Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. In Martinez, the Union is the law, so can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary.
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. But you must agree that nature, in her infinite wisdom, has made men more fit to perform certain, more challenging tasks. Don't you, officer? Really, officer. Match an average woman against an average man in a dark alley and see who comes out on top. Gender equality is a very noble, very modern idea. But in real life, primal roles prevail. But I do not wish to discuss this matter further.
Yes?
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic.
Probably some kids.
A simple but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. It took in a thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onug, written on the other side. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast, studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts. Lanky, weather-worn. The church looks old and weather-worn. There are no lights in the windows. Around the large wooden building, you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Dès que j'en aurai besoin pour reprendre le pistolet que j'ai dû mettre en consigne.
Hey, up here, Piggo. Yeah, you bet.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets.
Good evening, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Leighton, my maiden name. I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode.
There's a trace of irony in his voice. Mischief, even.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cor de Leyte 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name.
It's a pleasure craft, a 19-pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Good. What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs 72,000 people. They all need to be paid. Then there are capital improvements, interest payments. A conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It's a tremendous responsibility.
She nods.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labour Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. Oh, so you've met him. Has he beguiled you with his inane theories?
My colleague has his peculiarities. Let's not go into this particular one just yet.
Of course. To each their own. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens, no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more...
ludicrous even. It's meant.
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh, yes. Every worker, a member of the board. In its defense, another said, demand democracy. Pretty tame stuff compared to every worker a member of the board. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers. Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group. They're having a blast. But how can they afford it? After 4 months, my assumption was they would prefer a... I'm not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical... And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in...
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the bowyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interest. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood. He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his... Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a
mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only... And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever. End of story. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play, but the point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57. And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh, dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking such a
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the...
Of course, I sympathize, but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement. Feelings will guide the way.
I assure you, it is no small matter for me either. We all share the responsibility for disarming this situation. I hope you have a badge for me as soon as possible. Trust me, officer, I am fully committed to...
She's silent. The wind flaps the sail above her.
Officer. You know, I don't mean to sound cold, but if you want something, you have to give something back. More than just...
You're doing it. Despite your own best efforts, you're still getting in. Somehow.
I'll be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superior. The Union is conducting drug trade out of the harbour. It's an open secret in Martinez. Surely it must not come as a complete surprise to the RCM either. Or you can find your badge, which honestly seems like...
Detective, a word in private before we continue. This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective. Honestly, I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and, you know, not volunteer us to be her henchmen. This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
No. If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching. I'm sure you will, Detective.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with? It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff. Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the union does not produce it. They Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the dock workers union. Still, every chain has its weak link. The lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you. How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to...
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves. Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you. No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However, this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the trade committee, they'll have no choice. Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand. Yes? Excellent. According to my reports, there are at least 3 lorry drivers lingering near the roundabout. Hopefully, it may come to nothing, or it may just blow the case wide open. I can keep the drawbridge up for a few more days at least. You should have the time you need. In the meantime, let me know if there's any other way I may be of assistance. Of course, Detective.
Okay.
Yeah, you better keep walking.
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance to the apartment building. It's locked.
Entrée du sud-ouest. Elle est là. Et donc ça en fait des tâches. Hein.
Look at me when I'm talking to you.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Bon, 3% c'est pas la peine.
Can't get involved in this.
must be another way into the building.
Oh là, la vache.
So much for a quiet smoke.
Je vais me péter les oreilles.
Are you trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat? Pigs come to take me out? Trying to snuff me out? Don't get fucking clever with me, pig. Trying to sneak up on me?
Ok. Allez voir la conce. Pas aller plus vite. Faut pas dans le jeu. Donc lui il y a un chauffe.
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a satisfying jingle. Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You should buy more alcohol. The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, one...
No. You need tear to use the...
Ok. C'est bientôt 21h. L'heure d'aller se coucher, apparemment dans le jeu. Ah, bientôt 21h. On va dire oui ou non.
Can I help you? Absolutely out of the question.
Absolutely in the question. First we find a sad banger. Then we sing this place to shit. The door is closed. There is no answer. You hear the shower being turned on. A tremendous loneliness comes over you. Everybody in the world is doing something without you. The door is closed.
Il y a plein de bouteilles à ramasser dans le coin.
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting.
Ah, bon, on fera attendre 20 minutes. Mais vu le temps qu'il met pour descendre, c'est chiant.
The door is closed. Still no answer. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick... He doesn't like where this is going. This door can only be opened with a key of...
On va pas lui parler à lui, hein.
The worker is in a deep... Perhaps he's on his way to where you just came from.
Hello again, my man. What's on your mind? Ah, man. Me and narcotics go way back. Had some good times surfing the psychic waves, but those days are behind me. There are other addictions in my life now. Why the inquiry, my man? Hey, man, that's serious criminal talk. Are you trying to pull some sort of an entrapment thing on me?
Entrapment is where a law officer gets a person to commit a criminal offense they otherwise wouldn't commit.
Yes. It's like trying to trick a person into doing something criminal that they'd never do. So you do realize entrapment doesn't work if you announce you're going to do it in advance?
We have a credible lead, sir. Someone on this roundabout is waiting for a bulk shipment from the harbor to load it on their lorry and drive.
Not me, man. No way. I don't need any trouble. Shit's bad enough anyway. This jam's got folks up in arms, and I'm afraid it's headed toward a conflagration. Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions. Ah, man. But those days are behind me.
We have a credible lead.
Not me, man. No way. I gotta guard the stuff. Bosses don't look kindly on missing cargo. And it gives me...
A rhymesmith? This is quite credible. It goes with its cadence and way of...
Look, man, I try to stay away from the criminal underbelly of Revachol. I'm a guest here. You really need to find another man to probe with those questions.
Wait, there's something here, stored away in some dusty corner. It starts like...
Whoa! What else? Silent communion. That's good. Dang, that's some great shit. You came up with that yourself. Right. But really, no bullshit. That's great stuff. I sort of want to know if it's yours. No matter. Great verses like that sometimes. Ephemeral. You might not look it. Just messing with you. It's cool. You're an okay guy. For a cop. They're more often in the fists than rhymes, see? Let alone...
In a small office behind the old military hospital, hunched under the green glow of his desk light, Officer Hans Blau browses through a test print of his Futurist magazine. It's called The Futurist. The typeface on the header is too small. The lieutenant looks at you in silence, a curious look.
Well, you've given me some hope, I guess.
You found some common ground with this man, even impressed him. The next time you look in the mirror, though, remember those words.
Il me dit d'aller voir la classe peut-être. Ça améliorera mon...
Looking for something, Hunt? Come to tell me to fuck off again? Drugs? They're shit, man. I don't let anything pollute my body. You know where that shit comes from? Sarah Mirizza, Safre, Ilmara. They take the money from our local junkies here. They know they can't beat us in a fair fight. So they have to get us to weaken ourselves somehow. It's racial sabotage, racial economic sabotage. Oh, I don't go for that foreign piss. Proper booze is made in Mundi. Or sometimes I like a dram of that Yugograd vodka. Koikos and worse much, but they do no booze. Look, I'm gonna be straight with you since you're my kin. I don't know shit, and if I did, I wouldn't tell you. You're a cop. I'm not an idiot. What do you think? I can't leave the lorry unguarded. Stuff's been getting looted lately. It's those little kips sneaking...
There was a bunch of spilled boxes in the back of a big lorry nearby.
Yeah, I knew that guy. He was an honest driver who loved his country. We were having a good debate about genetics at the Wheeling in Rags. Since he left, I haven't had anyone to talk to. It's a fucking travesty, is what it is. Isn't it obvious? Fucking Sealang, that beady-eyed South Samaran. His little side... He's a Samaran guy who likes to pretend he's some kind of businessman. Really, he's just selling his employer stuff. Stuff he just follows the smell. It smells like apricot and oil when you're...
Yes, yes. Well...
Looks like I offended your partner there. Too bad. Sealang's usually a little bit south of here, near the canal. You can't... His tribe are natural liars. It's in their blood.
I wouldn't be so sure about it. Not until we've heard.
Guess so.
Advanced race theory. Everything is calm in the eye of the race storm. Your mind is lucid and bright. The mind-bending phylogenetics appear more distant and, to be fair, a little ridiculous. The great race mystery has cleared up. All that's left to do is verbalize your thoughts. Go and talk to Measurehead about your newly found insights.
Rhétorique, le seuil d'aspect. Ah, je passe à ça. Les deux blancs, c'est maintenant. Ça peut comprendre.
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. This big, heavy Grad-made machine is well kept for such an old machine. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorryman's cabin with personal belongings. The driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. A large metal pendant hangs from the rear view mirror. The pendant features a sun crowned with wavy rays. The back end of the cabin has a small perch to sleep, large ashtrays. A book with ragged edges catches your notice. The front cover features a large, muscular man. The type
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
C'est tout bien. À bientôt, je suis à un point de talent.
An old monument stands in the middle of the traffic island. A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, "I am Philip III, the Squanderer." As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chest piece. What did he do? You have no idea what you did a week ago. High above you, the king stands triumphantly oblivious to your memory. Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass. Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or political... Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you.
Quoi, autorité. Compenser les -2 là. Alors, la fille. Pourquoi pas? Je sais pas pourquoi. Regardez. Regardez. La veste, elle m'importe. Ah oui, c'est fait.
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, 'some cigarettes, and food money.
If you want her attention, you can ask her to leave. She knows a long. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. If you want her attention, you can ask her to leave. She knows a long. It's the warmth of a winter night's fire. Maybe she could give you comfort and shelter, some cigarettes and food money. You may need to be more forceful.
Where am I? Who are you?
The smile on her face has disappeared, replaced by the wary aspect of a cornered beast.
Never mind. I remember now. I'm still stuck in that traffic jam. The men have small jaws and everything is made out of plastic. Why do you need plastic when you back in Mecca during the time of the revolution? The side walls and cafes are filled until you came along, that is. Someone was. They are someone's memories, boy. What difference does it make if they're beautiful? That is all that matters. Beautiful and...
She seems to derive some bitter pleasure from this strange thought, as if the past will one day wipe the present away, like a tidal wave approaching.
This is Gabriel Buenguerro.
A strikingly handsome man looks straight at you. His head...
He was the biggest star of his day. Girls used to faint in the eye.
In all likelihood, it's a world that's only ever existed in her mind.
I wasn't dreaming. I was there, Lawman. It was early spring, and the man behind the black sun had just come out. The poster, while you, people, were tearing each other apart over your pet. Why not, Harife? It's not like I have anything better to do in this hellhole. Diamonds? Of course not. But wouldn't it be marvelous? Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that a long time ago. Besides, I don't drive the lorry for the cargo.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Then it's contraband, Lawman. What? Do you want to take an...
Bad hand. Hermenegildos' bad hand. Strangled 300 people. What can I say? Some people just really like...
She's just a distracted old woman. We should maybe let her get back to her things.
So he doesn't think she's a smuggler.
You hear that, Lawman? I don't think your partner likes you spending too much...
Nothing. I just don't think she's connected to anything.
He doesn't want your frail mind caught up in something here. Something unconnected to the case. But connected to this woman tuning out like that.
A pale dream is what it is. What do I need drugs for, Lawman? What I see, what I feel, the great adversary. Yes, there is a protagonista and an adversario. I am on the side of the adversary. There's no...
Those epithets are familiar somehow. The great I don't like the sound of any of that. Sounds like a horrible drug. The worst one of them all. The woman sways her wrinkled shell back and forth, a strange grin across her face.
Diamonds? Of course not. Whatever stupid things they put in the lorry, I imagine. I quit concerning myself with that.
She says that as if something narcotic is the real reason.
Of course it does. What did you expect? Of course not. To truly understand the boyadero, you need to listen to On the Way. It's an old ballad about a young girl who falls in love with a daring boyadero. He promises to marry her as soon as... Of course not. The boyadero returns from the western plain a changed man. One night, as he and his beloved are out walking along the river Maigret. No, the boyadero strangles his beloved and throws her body in the Maigret. Then he rides off. The most beautiful. A true boyadero.
What if, to truly love a boyadero, is to float lifeless downstream?
Yes, go. Enough just...
Ok. Bon, retournons à la chambre d'hôtel. J'ai même gagné un point. Donc il y a 3 partout. Et rouge lui.
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives. He doesn't like where this is going.
Pourquoi je peux pas rentrer en fait? Bah ouais. Et pourquoi je peux pas rentrer? L'autre au bar il m'aurait... J'ai pas payé, je peux pas aller dans ma chambre. Réal.
Can I help you? Yes, have you got it? A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, like what? I was rarely in...
Comment ça se fait que je peux pas rentrer?
Yes?
You see a heavy steel door with the door does not.
Ah ça. Ouais, attends, quoi d'essai? La bourse. Un poil avancé. Alors j'étais mal de temps. Ah ouais. La porte.
The door is closed. This door can only be opened. Still nothing. The lieutenant, he doesn't like where this is going. Still, the lieutenant, he doesn't like where this.
On va ouvrir la porte. Pour ce live sur à tout arrivé et je donne rendez-vous à un prochain live. À tous et à bientôt. Au revoir.
Many miles we walk, the many things we learn, the building of a shrine, only just to burn. That's the way it is. That's the way